let me introduce the artist. The song that you just heard entitled Promise, we have the artist live in the studio with us tonight. She goes by the name of Arita. Introduce yourself.
Pleasant good evening to the POR radio listeners, Power of Reggae. I'm Arita from Trinidad and Tobago. And definitely Arita Franklin is one of my influences. We're going to go into that. But I've been doing music, it's cliche, practically all my life, but started officially 3 years now. And it has been an amazing journey. I've learned so much. I've been signed to Tempo Records, a subsidiary of Tempo Networks, media television network, 31 different destinations from Bahamas to the north all the way down to Suriname in the south. Also here on Optimum, channel 1105 and Horizon Fires. So that network and the subsidiary is Tempo Records. So I've been signed to them for 3 years and we have had, or is having an amazing journey thus far. How are you this evening?
We're going to get into that because I recognize the connection from you being a personality on the network into becoming a recording artist for the record label owned by the network. So we're going to get into that. But let's start with the name. It's not your given name, but it's the name that you chose as a recording artist. Why do you choose the name Arita as an artist?
Because it is my given name. Arita was given to me by my parents. It came from Aretha Franklin. They both love Aretha Franklin, but I often say it's the Caribbean Aretha. We say Arita, Wagwan, Arita, how you doing? Rather than Aretha, how you, that's more.
It's spelled different.
Yes.
Okay.
So it came from Aretha Franklin, who's definitely, as I mentioned, one of my influences, but it's the God-given name my parents gave me, and sometimes you have to live up to our names, right?
Okay, so let's take it from the top. Your parents gave you that name, obviously, because they had some type of musical inclination. Maybe she was one of their favorite artists.
Oh,
so, growing up as a kid, when did you actually start having musical influences from your parents? When did you first recognize that?
At 3 years old, I used to be performing a lot for my parents, particularly my grandfather. And I grew up around it. So my grandmother was one of the popular calypsonians in Trinidad and Tobago. And top 5 calypsonian in Trinidad and Tobago is actually one of my uncles as well, Crow. They call him the Mighty Midget. And each one of my family members actually plays musical instruments. So I've been around it all my life. But 3, I started to perform for my grandfather and my mother and father. And then I grew up hearing, the Crow, the Bob Marley, the Selena, the Anita Baker, the Etta James, Aretha Franklin, the Nina Simone. I grew up hearing this, understood it, I would say from age 3, but yeah, that's where it started.
Okay, now you are basically what I would say a very new recording artist. Okay, there are other things in your career that brought you to this point that you are now.
Yeah.
When did you first break into the industry that allowed you to start this musical journey?
No, I actually used to sing calypso in school. When I was younger, I used to sing. I entered a number of calypso competitions that I came first, second, and third in. And then I started to take the music very, very serious from there. Now, I am, to me, a very creative person. I love anything creative, not just music. I love acting, dancing. A lot of people say I can't dance, but I love it. Anything creative. As Caribbean people, we can do multiple things. But I definitely took it. But I started, in the calypso arena, and then, of course, the typical church, and I entered a lot of church competitions as well. And I did exceptionally well there. So I said, Rita, let's take it serious. And then I launched into a television personality. I started to host on Tempo in 2000, and I think 2014, the first person I interviewed ever, literally first person, was John Legend. So I was nervous. And then I went on to hosting a show live. Now I didn't understand what that meant at that time. Being real, I did not understand. I was just there and I interviewed a number of celebrities, not understanding what I was doing. But it definitely, allowed me to hone that craft, and it definitely pushed me into what I ultimately want to do, which is sing. And I also have a history in the modeling career. I would have modeled for a number of designers in Trinidad and Tobago, Anya Yongchi, some of you may know, Project Runway winner. I modeled for Romero Bryan, who styled Jennifer Lopez, Ashanti, and a number of other pop stars. I've worked with photographers throughout the world, from England, done magazines, calendars, the list goes on and on and on. But it's definitely something I love to do. Anything creative, call Arita and she'll be there.
Okay, so your first foray into the industries, based on your talent, but it was also based on you being able to become a personality and do much more than just be an artist. Okay, now, so you started out doing interviews, modeling, stuff like that. How were you able to parlay that back into the music career, even though that's where you first started? But how were you able to parlay it back into the music, and especially doing the music that you wanted to do?
Now, a lot of people think that the artistry is just singing, it's just music. But it has so much elements. You have to be, particularly where videos are, you have to be able to become a character when creating a music video. We have artworks, so I guess this is where the modeling side, came in, where I can pose for a picture so that my artwork complements the song and my music video. They all go hand in hand. I guess God took me on that path so that I can learn what I needed to, to come back into what I need to, and they all just complement each other. One thing don't go by itself, everything works together.
Okay, so with that being said, let's talk about the music at the moment. What would you consider the genre or your style of music? Coming from Trinidad, typically people would think of calypso,
Right.
but you don't have that sound. So what would you say is your genre, your sound that you're bringing to the people?
No, I would say it's somewhat fused, because I am Trinidadian, and that's where my foundation is. But I'm definitely heading towards pop international sound, fusing it with the Caribbean sound. Now, if you listen to, which I'm sure you're going to play, Lovesick. So my influences are Arita Franklin, Etta James, Nina Simone, Bob Marley. And our team is working on, well, I think we nailed it, creating that song where I'm an authentic Caribbean person, but can definitely go, mainstream. So we're fusing pop with the Caribbean flavor.
Okay, let me stop you for 1 minute, because my mother is actually Trinidadian.
Oh.
And something you said a while ago struck a chord. Trinbagonian? When did that start?
So I am Tobagonian, actually.
Okay.
So I'm from Tobago.
Typically from Tobago.
Right, I was born and I grew up in Tobago, and my parents are from Trinidad. But we're one, aren't we?
Okay. No.
So we're Trinbagonians.
Okay. Okay, so back to the music now. We played Promise.
Mm-hmm.
The video is also on YouTube.
Yeah.
On the Tempo Network. You can go and check out the video. I watched it. Okay, so yeah.
Thank you for your support.
Apart from that, you are working on a body of work. You have other songs that we're going to play in the studio tonight for the listeners. This is your first studio album. Is it an EP? Is it an LP? What are you planning on giving to the listeners?
It's an EP. The name of it is called Lovesick. The title song has just been released. Lovesick featuring Baby Sham. beautiful video. Make sure you come on March 17th to be the first to see it at Miss Harlem, 46 West 116th Street. Come on, it's going to be amazing. And the song was written by my manager, who's actually my main writer, Frederick Morton. And that particular song, as I mentioned before, it hit the hammer. What do you say? It hit the nail on the head?
Yeah.
That's what you say, right? Yeah, that is that because it definitely expresses me as an artist, the fusion of soul and jazz, all of that in it. Yeah, so all of that in it, sorry. And so that's Lovesick, and then we have a number of other songs, 8 other songs to release on the EP. We're releasing 4 singles off the EP, and then we release the entire EP. So I'm very, very, very excited about it. I think it shows a different personality of Rita, and it can definitely, it's relatable to a number of different markets, not just in the Caribbean but internationally. I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, so the title song for the EP, Lovesick, featuring Baby Sham. The video is not released as yet.
No.
Is the single available now?
Yes,
it hasn't
it
been
is.
released? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's available on iTunes and digital platforms for the listeners. We're going to get into that song in a minute before we go to the commercial break. But let's talk about a little bit more. You said your manager, he's responsible for a lot of the writing and stuff like that. The song itself, and you collaborating with Baby Sham, was he also responsible for that? Tell us a little bit more about the collaboration and how it came about.
Okay, so my manager is, of course, the owner of Tempo Networks, and who actually is formerly litigator from MTV Viacom. Came out of that, bought Tempo, and now owns it independently 12 years going on 13. So the relationships he would have built over the 12 years, you know, is ones that a lot of people would love. And when Frederick wrote this song, Lovesick, he said right away, I think Baby Sham would be perfect for this. Now, I'm a fan of Baby Sham. So of course I was like, okay, let's go. And you know, it was a call for him. So we have this song, let's do it. And right away he did it. So when he sent back his verse, it was just perfect. It was a perfect fit. And audio, when you hear it, I think we both complement each other, and definitely visually in the video, it's a beautiful, you know, compliment.
Okay, so once again, you said the video is going to be released on March.
I'm showing it to those who come to the event. March 17th, Love Her, Tempo Live and Direct presents Love Her with Dwayne Stevenson and myself. We have Jaguar, we have Makian, we have Rassi Manuel, King Tapper, Misha. It's going to be an amazing event, a movie, a great experience.
A lot of those artists that you call have been in the studio actually before, so shout out to everything that you're doing right now. Okay, so the song entitled Lovesick is also the title for the EP. The video features Baby Sham, the song features Baby Sham. We're going to get into that song right now, and then we're going to come back, talk a little bit more with the artist Arita. Power Reggae Radio, PowerReggae.com. Power Reggae Radio, PowerReggae.com. We back. We finished off with the combination with Arita and Baby Sham. We're coming back with a combination as well. Arita, Queen Africa. 2 big songs. We spoke about the Sham before we went to the break, so we're going to get into the Crisis featuring Queen Africa. Is that also included in the upcoming EP?
No, actually, no. It's
Okay.
not included. It's a single that's out now. We're promoting it as a single currently with the other 6 singles out, but it's not an EP.
Okay, so if this particular song is not on the EP, you don't plan on having it on your particular body of work. How did it come about, and why are you pushing it as a single? It's a beautiful song, but how did it come about? And for an artist that's brand new and you're working on a body of work, you're also pushing something else. How did that come about?
Now this song, Crisis, was written by myself and my manager again. I think this was the 2nd song we wrote, but the 4th song we released when we were releasing our singles prior to the EP. And again, based on my manager's relationships, now Queen Africa is one of my favorite artists of all time, favorite female artists. And she was in Kenya when we sent this song to her, when my manager sent this song to her. And I remember getting a voice note with her singing this song, first verse into the end of the chorus. And she said, "Are the baddest thing," which meant a lot to me, you know, her being one of my favorite artists. Now I went crazy, very excited. And I think it was a week or 2 after, she sent back this song with her verse on it. And as you could hear, a beautiful verse. Now, when you listen to this song, it is where I am, it's where we are grounded spiritually. You know, I believe in the Most High, and you know, the funny thing is, we as artists typically write song for the public, you know, thinking about how they would feel about a particular song or how it can impact them and their lives. And I didn't tell my manager, it was the funniest thing, because this song, I actually just lost my sister from cancer at 33 and a half years old, you know, and she was the one who brought me to know the Almighty. So, you know, my relationship with Him started when I was age 11. And this song is a song that is currently healing me. So I play it in my mind, I sing it in my mind over and over, you know, that no matter what crisis you're going through, you know, you could always call on Him, and He would open His ear and His heart to hear, you know, and it is definitely helping me, and that's what we were looking for when we wrote this song, Queen Africa, myself and my manager, is what we were looking for. That
you definitely got that vibe from the song. The natural healing song. I see where you're coming from with it. Okay, so Crisis is also available on all digital platforms for listeners.
Yeah, it's available.
Did you shoot a visual for Crisis as of yet?
Not just yet.
Is it in the works?
It's definitely in the works. You know, we're on the drawing board. My team, we're on the drawing board right now. Beautiful, beautiful concept. It's a beautiful treatment, and I think it would definitely complement the song because it's a powerful song, you know, and hoping that it will be a healer of the earth, you know, the heart, and visually it's going to complement it.
Okay, what I noticed from you in your young career so far is, for this prominent singles that you are pushing, you are putting out visuals for it. So before we tune out, for the listeners, where can they go online to see Arita's visuals for these songs that she's putting out?
At Arita Worldwide on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You could definitely go on the Tempo, again on Optimum Channel 1105, Verizon 267. We're there, you can go there. My videos made it to #1 on Tempo, grateful. And YouTube is definitely on the Tempo Network. Subscribe to the Vibe. And it's also on BET, MTV.com. BET Soul, Island Soul, BET Jams, Hype in Jamaica, a couple other places throughout the region, and also in England and Germany, and yeah, so there's where you can find my stuff.
Do you have a tentative release date for the project Lovesick as of yet?
Not a precise date, but summer.
Okay, so
Yes.
this summer look out for the full body of work, the EP, Love Sick by Arita. For now, you can go online and get the singles, Love Sick, Promise, Crisis. I'm pretty sure you have a lot more online that the listeners can look forward to.
Yeah.
The videos on the Temple Network on YouTube, you can check out once again on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at
Arita Worldwide.
It was definitely a pleasure having you in the studio tonight.
Same here, and let me just remind you all, please come on March 17th at Mist Harlem to see myself, Jaguar, Dwayne Stevenson.
What day of the week is that?
That's a Saturday.
All right, Saturday, March 17th, people.
Saturday, March 17th, come out in your numbers. It's going to be an amazing event. Men, bring out your women. Women, bring out your men. You know, we have to treat our men as well. Come out. And I'm also giving away 3 55-inch flat screen LED Samsung HD 4K Ultra Smart TVs. So come out, bring out. And we're also giving away dinner for 2. And you know what? Give away 2 tickets. I don't know how you want to, but Power of Reggae is going to be giving away 2 tickets as well. So
check out the website, powerreggae.com. Okay, stay tuned. We're going to get into a lot more. We got the artist Jaguar coming up. Johnny, get into some Jaguar music. We're going to come back with another interview. Powerreggae.com, Power Reggae.